Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today, we're going to be talking about Xela Technologies. Now, I did talk about Xela Technologies before. My last video is in the description below. But today, we're going to bring new pieces to due diligence, technical analysis, and what I think about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Xela Technologies, we have news, we have updates, we have earnings, but let's first off go on with the presentation from the second quarter of 2021 results on August 10th, 2021. So some of the investments highlights includes that Xela is a leader in business process management solutions globally, large market opportunities with TAM of over $207 billion in BPMS along with a significant increment growth opportunities in SMB markets. Exela has a deep and wide moat with numerous patents and extensive investments in technology poised to further expand automation. Automation is led by neural network, intelligent documents, data processing, and expanded cloud usage. Experienced management team with decades of industry experience and proven track records with long tenured blue chip customers and a global footprint. So you're able to see there's more than 30 years experience, more than 4,000 global customers across 14 industrial verticals and 60 plus Fortune 100 partners with Xela. And you're able to see here as well, Xela is a part of the critical supply chain infrastructure in multiple countries. United States has a population of over 328 million, and Xela serves around 200 million insured and top 5 healthcare players, and 20 million veterans and top 15 banks, IRS payments, Department of Revenues, to name a few. Germany, for instance, Xela technology is used to enable online banking for 63 million customers out of a population of 83 million. And the UK has a population of 67 million. Xela Technologies enables 100% of all check payments presentable in archivals, and Sweden also has a population of around 10 million. You're able to see that Xela is the sole processor of all bank gyros payment for 7 million individuals and 500,000 companies. Ireland has a population of 5 million and Xela processes 85% of all check payments. So you're able to see that Xela Solutions reaches a majority of the population in the 5 countries listed above. They're quite massive. In terms of the second quarter 2021 highlights, the revenue was around $293 million, reflects a continuation of the COVID-19 impact and stabilization achieved post-strategic pruning. Renewal rate was around 95%, and additionally, we added new strategy of work across many key existing customers with new logos. Gross profits grew 27%, that's around $84 million year over year, and 24.3% quarter over quarter. Their adjusted EBITDA as well grew around 18% to $51 million year over year and around 9.6% quarter over quarter. Significant margin expansions, gross margins of 28.6%, that's around 722 basis points year over year and 616 basis points around quarter over quarter. The adjusted EBITDA is around 17.4% margin and 336% basis point year over year at 188 quarter over quarter. Now, the operating profits increased $21 million quarter over quarter, and strategic deleveraging on schedule with total equity raise of around $224 million year to date, net debt of around $1.297 billion, and the net debt increased by $140 million reduction in the total period so far in 2021. What does that mean? So, the revenue increased quite a good amount. The adjusted EBITDA increased, net revenue increased, net debt decreased, so all in all, it looks good. Now, in terms of the current product suite and SMB markets showing robust results, you're able to see that there is continuous growth quarter over quarter for a number of customers and dry sign users, and that's good. In terms of sequential revenue by segment, quarter 2 is lower than quarter 1 for information transactions processing solutions, but for healthcare solutions and legal and loss prevention solutions, they are a bit higher. So volumes are slowly coming back as people return to work with new SOS ramp up, rising volumes due to new SOS, new logos and backlog, and businesses continues to be more predictable versus historical trends. The large untapped addressable market, that's what they're trying to go for. They basically see that relating towards the bank sector, tech, manufacturing, and everything in between is around $207 billion market. Additionally, the SMB market presence at a large untapped opportunities It includes small business globally $400 million, small businesses in the US of $31.7 million. In terms of the financials, so revenues decreased by $2.3 million, gross profits increased by 24%, and SG&A decreased by 13%, adjusted EBITDA 188 basis points, capex point or 0.7 in line, and liquidity of around 209%. So revenue might have actually seen a bit of a hit, but gross profits increased and adjusted EBITDA increased. So all in all, it's understandable, and you're able to see progress of enterprise value in terms of its components, and strategic deleveraging continues. Around $224 million of equity raised, which was really through offerings, and completed debt payback of around $59 million year to date at a weighted average of around 61% of par. And you're able to see as well some of the financial 10Q or 10K filings. Well, this would be 10Q. Later on, it would be a part of the 10K. And Xela is ready for growth. So the business and operational update in terms of revenue basis and operating leveraging, they're trying to improve both parts and strong financial flexibility in terms of the liquidity. They see themselves as having sufficient capacity for anticipated growth. So some of the key takeaways would be Xela is a leader in the business process management solutions globally, and they have large market opportunities with around $207 billion, and around Xela has a deep and wide moat, experienced management team with decades of industry experience, proven track record with long tenured blue chip customers and a global footprint. Xela Solutions reaches a majority of the population in some of the countries where they operate, and highest liquidity of $158 million in lowest outstanding debts since 2017 in financial and business operational key metrics showing positive performance. And I think that's it for the presentation. Now we can go ahead with some of the latest news, but before then, make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow. Subscribe if you actually enjoyed this video and you would like to see more. It's in the bottom right corner. And please turn on notifications on for this channel. And you can join our Discord totally free in the description below. Now, the latest news includes that on the 12th, Xela Technologies was actually named as a hot vendor by Aragon Research. So that's that. It's actually pretty bullish. And Xela Technologies expands relationship with a large healthcare member engagement letter of approximately a total contract of $7.5 million. So another good one here, you're able to see that the price over sales appear to be only 0.12. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I do believe that the market cap has actually doubled because of their offerings. So keep that in mind, that this information might not be accurate at all. In terms of the short flow, it's 25%, and we can see through the short volumes here that at almost in any given day, almost half of all the volume transaction shares are actually gone to the short side. Take a look into the 13th. The total volume was around $13.416 million shares, and you're able to see that 6.865 million shares was gone to the short side. The short flow seems to be understandable that there are actually at 25% because of the really high short volume as well that continuously goes on between mainly to the shorts. At least half of that goes to the shorts, half goes to the longs. In terms of insiders, we don't see anything, but in terms of institutional buyers, we have one more down. Caution Management liquidated their entire position, but don't take that to heart. Sometimes they just have strategic investments or changes in their strategy. Let's move on towards technical analysis. On the moving average parts in technical analysis, you're able to see that the moving averages in general look somewhat bullish. The 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, and between those two, between the $3 and the 276 level, there's something called the trading action zone where most positive reversals occur. And you get to see even before, when it dropped below this kind of 30 EMA line, the red line, it bounced back. So hopefully that continues on to be the same trend. Currently, it's also above the 50 SMA, which makes it bullish. 50 SMA is at the 241 level. In terms of the willing percent R, which is very similar to the RSI, Relative Strength Index, it's highly oversold, which is a very bullish thing in that sense, because if equilibrium was to be achieved, you probably would see a lot more buyers coming in, stock price would jump up. In terms of the MACD, you're able to see that there is a little bit of a drop in that histogram. It looks like a reversal was denied on the 6th of August and slowly been sliding down. Momentum is still actually a positive level of 0.08, but very close to zero. In terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, what you're actually seeing here is that they're both dipping downwards, so you got to be very careful where the next support is. And on the moving average bands and the Bollinger bands, expect this one to trade 332 on the top and 235 at the bottom based on previous momentums and volumes. And the current Fibonacci retracements, supports and resistances, and the reason why I use this one is because high frequency traders use it and institutional buyers. The current resistance that used to be a support is at 279, following that 375, 453, 530, 641, and 782. The only support on the Fibonacci retracements is 123. However, there are a few on the price line action. For instance, the current really important support that we need to take a look at is the 266. Below there's a 252. That's a critical one. Then 245. And then below there, a very important one at 219. If it does drop there, you might actually head to 191 and then 171 right away. And that's not really far off from the 147 level, and then down to 128, 123. Resistances, there are quite a few as well. So there is a resistance currently at the 273. And then above there, there's one at around the 303. And then one closer towards, let's say, around the 353, and then upwards to closer to the 414, and then around 464, and then upwards to 550 or 511, and above to all the way to 782. Comes to the question to Ed. What do you actually think about this one? Well, they do have actual good products. They actually do have a marketplace, a market share, and they do have a growth plan. Their debt's a little bit high in that sense when we saw the chart, but they're able to tackle that as they go forward, and that's a bullish thing. And I do think that as we go forward, from my understanding, is that the short flow is what really pushed this one forward. But I do think there will be high volatility. If we do break that level around the 250, we might be in trouble. But as long as we're above there, there's a very strong chance of a reversal. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps. We just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.